Let's talk about closing and winterizing swimming pools. If you closed and winterized your swimming pool this year, let's discuss maybe some of the areas that you might have missed something or perhaps something that you might have forgotten about. I've worked in environments where we close and winterize hundreds, sometimes thousands of swimming pools every season. And there's a kind of a short list of failure items that we can find the next year. And I'll give you an example of this. If you have a swimming pool pump that uses a mechanical timer, and that timer does not get turned off properly, the pool will get closed, the pool will get winterized, you kind of just forget about it for the season, but every night the swimming pool pump is turning on and trying to run. Of course, there's no water in it. It can't run, but it doesn't know enough to turn itself off. Basically, it will run until it smokes itself out and breaks and hopefully doesn't cause a fire. But it is a really common call to get from swimming pool owners shortly after the closing season. Hey, I was outside at night and I heard my pool pump running away. Well, what's going on there? You probably have a timer that wasn't turned off properly. So that's something that you might want to double check. Moving on. Automatic water fill units are not all that common. I mean, on high-end swimming pools, I'd say they're pretty common. On entry-level and middle-of-the-road in-ground pools, I would say the average pool doesn't have an automatic water fill unit. And that's kind of part of the problem. Their scarcity or the rarity makes it such that a closing and winterizing crew might not notice the water fill unit or might not know how to properly winterize it. Uniquely, a water fill unit is going to have a pressurized water line supplying it. And probably that pipe is coming from somewhere inside of your house. Commonly, the pool closing crew does not need to come inside your house in order to close and winterize your pool. So if you have an automatic fill unit, suddenly you have a unique situation. The closing crew needs to come inside in order to turn off, isolate that valve, and to flush it out or do something to make sure that line doesn't freeze. And then they need to add some antifreeze to the automatic fill unit itself, which is adjacent to the swimming pool, similar to how the skimmer looks. Like you've got a lid for the skimmer. Normally there's a lid for the automatic fill units, and that's what you want to be aware of. Is if you have one, did it get winterized properly? Did somebody turn off that fresh water supply to it? Because it could be running and trying to fill up your pool and you're not even aware that it's happening. And that's actually a pretty common call that we get from pool owners after the winterizing season. Moving on here, let's talk about the pool heater. This is one that I think a lot of people could benefit from. So when you have a pool heater, nowadays they're pretty much all digitally controlled, and you might just turn it off. It's got a selection button or a manual button where you can turn the heater off. However, you still have the breaker on to the heater. So the heater's not running, it's not doing anything, but that energy source is arriving at the heater and it's probably reaching a transformer that's changing it from 120 volts down to 12 volts for digital controls. And even though you're not utilizing that power for anything, that transformer is still energized. And in doing so, it's going to be generating heat. And if you live in a cold climate area, which you do because you're closing and winterizing your pool, that transformer is going to definitely be an attractant for pests. I think traditionally speaking, pests are one of the biggest problems for pool heaters. From spiders to mice, other things, they can get into your heater over the winter season and they cause problems. And definitely, if you leave a heat source on inside of your heater, you're dramatically increasing the likelihood that you're going to be inviting pests in that are going to cause problems for you. So let's move along now. A call we get every year, or more that we usually notice it in the springtime. Did you remember to drain your filter? Now, there's a bunch of different kinds of filters: DE filters, cartridge filters, sand filters. And this is, I guess, most common for sand filters. But you could forget to remove the drain plug from the bottom of your filter, thereby your filter's still full of water. And that's not good. I mean, they seem impenetrable. They're so strong, but if you leave it full of water over a freezing winter season, you can pretty much count on the fact that you're going to crack and break that filter. And there's no repairing that once that happens. Now you're into buying a new filter. So let's talk about one more thing that you might have forgotten, and you definitely shouldn't forget if you've closed and winterized your pool. Again, we're back to a pool heater. Did you turn off the gas valve for the pool heater? Did you turn off the gas valve for the pool heater? And ask yourself one more time and go and triple check just to be so darn sure that you turned off the gas valve for the heater, because of course that's something that you don't want to forget about. And you could if you're closing and winterizing your own pool. If you found this information helpful, please be sure to like this video and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And you can check out my website, swimmingpoolsteve.com.